Hey there guys, this is an update on that Fitech fuel injection system for the LS. So far, pretty happy with it. I did have a few glitches, you can say. In the beginning, on my first run to the lake, I added a fuel pressure gauge here to the back, and I just wasn't getting the fuel pressure at the higher RPM that I really needed. And another thing that I was having a problem with was the fuel was dropping after you'd shut it off. So to start from the beginning, just so you know, what I was running for a fuel pump was Fitech has an inline fuel pump. It's similar to the 044 Bosch pump, if you're familiar with it. It's a pretty common pump they use on everything. Well, I had it mounted down here, low as a tank. I didn't have a pickup pump. I also used the Fitech filter system that they had. There was an inline filter up here, 100 micron serviceable filter. I also had a return that ran back into the tank from the back there where my gauge is. Up top, I ran it back down into the top of the tank over there, and I was having issues. It would just drop fuel pressure after running it quick. Well, I'm a marine diesel technician, and I decided that what I was going to do, I had an 8.1 Crusader engine that failed on me. It had some manifolds that leaked water back into the system, locked up the engine, corroded it. It was done. So I ended up with some salvage parts. I ended up with this fuel cell. It's got the pickup pump here. Sorry, the boat's unfinished. It's still kind of under construction. So this is the pickup pump, low pressure. Inside of here is a high pressure pump about to here, and then there's a filter that hangs off of it. So I acquired this in the field, and then I brought it home. So what I got here, service kit, is RPO 80026, and there's also some patent numbers on the bottom, so you guys can look them up and try to find it if you decide to run it. But let me tell you what, this changed everything. When I put that pump on there, my fuel pressure is now holding right at 58 to 60 pounds under full load. It was not doing that before. I was having a hell of a time. I got into a dry area out there on the lake, and it was still moving, but it was starving for fuel. I was looking back at the gauge, and it just was starting to cut out on me. It got to the point where it dropped all the way to zero. So after all of that, I came home pissed off, kind of irritated, and said, let me try this. Now I just temporarily kind of hooked it up to see if it would work. Even I used my vent line as a return line on it, and just kind of took my cap off the tank just to give it a trial run, and it ran like a son of a bitch, man. It ran really well. You shut the key off and walk away, come back 10 minutes later, fuel pressure's still up. So that's a good thing. That's what I was looking for the whole time. So the Fitech fuel system, I tried to order one of their pumps when I bought the system. They're always on back order, and you know, I knew some guys that work in a speed shop, and I'm not going to say who, but they talked to some people from Fitech because they use and sell a lot of their equipment, and they basically told them that their pumps are junk. That's why they're all on back order. I don't care who you talk to. You can try it if you want. I recommend getting a different pump arrangement, and I just wanted to show what I'm using as a fuel pump. And so far, just this quick trial I did around the yard, it performed really well. I need some minor adjustments, and I still have to do some IAC tuning and stuff, but it runs really good, all considering. I got my temperatures figured out. I'll give you a quick look at that. All right, so what I did was I've got the 799 heads off of a 5.3. And those heads come with block off plugs in the back. You see those plugs in there? That's factory. Nobody did that. I didn't do that. I don't care who you talk to. I didn't do it. I ran a crossover in the front, just straight crossover, and I teed in to that and put a bleeder valve. And then on Amazon, I found both of those. I actually found this crossover on Amazon and this 1.25" aluminum fitting here. And I come right off of there and bring it right in, and I bleed my air out, and I've got my coolant reservoir there. And what I did, not a lot of people talk about this. I did see one guy on YouTube make a post about it. Get rid of that stupid U-shaped horseshoe hose and use those locations. I have a secondary temperature sensor, and then I've got a 90 coming out. I just tapped in thread, pipe thread, MBT, and that hose runs over into the bottom of my coolant tank, and there's my pressure cap. So I still have a relief in the system because my radiator's too low. And that's just what happens in the airboating industry. You have to run it down there to keep it cool. I prefer to run it in the back, closest to the prop. Some people want it in the front. You can do whatever you want with it, really. I like to run at low idle, catching frogs, you know, gigging. So I like to keep it in the back. At a low idle, you get a better cooling circulation that way. Prop's close, but it's not too close. Here's my setup with the sense and itch and the aux box. Really good options. Boat's still under construction. I just got it going. I just went for the first time last weekend to Lake Kissimmee, but you see, we've been sitting here for 7 minutes now, and I'm still holding fuel pressure. So back on the fuel pump, this has its own regulator inside of it. It's got a regulator at 60 to 70 psi. It pops and relieves it back into the tank. So everything you need is in this. And I didn't buy it, so I don't know how much they are to be accurate, but I think I looked them up and they're right around, don't quote me on this or beat me up about it, I think they're like 600 bucks. And I'll be totally honest with you, when I got that Bosch 044, it's almost 200 bucks. The Fitech system, all the fuel lines that I needed and everything, I was almost at 500 bucks anyways. So just another option for you guys out there trying to figure out how to run these Fitech systems. It's really cool. You're able to change and tune things while you're out there on your own. Once you figure it out, it's kind of confusing in the beginning. Don't let people fool you. Easy to tune. Once you figure it out, it's easy to tune, but if you don't know what you're doing, it's not that easy. So just giving you guys another opinion on it. I like it. Hopefully it stays running. I mounted my ECM there, got my battery in front. I just got wires everywhere right now. I have to take it back apart and paint it. So just like to give people another option to what they're doing. Didn't see a whole lot talking about the fuel pumps for Fitech. You can even read the instructions. It doesn't even tell you about the fuel pumps in the instructions. It was kind of something that was frustrating for me. Other than that, I'm pretty happy, man. I can't complain. I'll do a little startup for you. All right, y'all. Got any questions? Give me a comment. Have a good one. Good luck.